Week 10 of the fantasy basketball season. Here's a few forwards I looked to sell and trade this week. The first forward, Julius Randle of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So stats-wise, his numbers have been pretty decent, Julius Randle. But in terms of this team winning and his teammates really liking Julius Randle, that hasn't been the case with this Minnesota Timberwolves team this season. On the year, 20.2 points a game, 7 rebounds, 4.4 assists, 1.8 threes, and 47% from the field for Randle. In the last couple weeks, 20.8 a game, 7.8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2.5 threes, and 45% from the field. So on the surface, the numbers look great. No doubt about it for Julius Randle. But the last couple seasons with him as well, he's been banged up and injured. And it wouldn't be surprising to me if the Wolves lose majority of the games before the NBA trade deadline, where Randle's an expiring contract, that they flip him in a deal and he's got to start over and acclimate with new teams. So December 25th at the Mavs, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 threes, 46% from the field. December 27th at the Rockets, 27 points, 8 boards, 8 assists, a block, 5 threes, 62% from the field. And December 29th versus Spurs, 16 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, 43% from the field. So no doubt about it, his numbers have been great here for Julius Randle. But I just don't believe he's going to score in the high 20s the remainder of the season. And even the assists per game have been high of late. So like I said, with an expiring contract that Randle is, and I don't think Minnesota is interested in re-signing him in the offseason. It wouldn't be surprising to me if he gets dealt to another team. And then at that point, depending what team he gets traded to, we don't know what kind of value he will have. So right now, while he's playing good basketball and he's been healthy after the last couple seasons, he's missed a decent amount of games. He's a sell high forward this week. Next forward, Jimmy Butler of the Miami Heat. So Butler, supposedly, he requested a trade out of Miami, and Pat Riley said Jimmy Butler's not getting traded, but believe it or not, I believe he still might get traded here towards the NBA deadline. If he informed the Heat that he's not going to re-sign in the offseason, where he's a free agent, why wouldn't you want to trade him and at least get something for him, draft picks or maybe a young role player in a deal? So Jimmy Butler, he's banged up. He's out the next 2 games. And the thing is with Butler, he's missed a lot of time throughout the regular seasons, especially the last few seasons. And I believe his better days are behind him as well, is Jimmy Butler, in terms of being consistent for fantasy basketball. In the playoffs, in regular NBA, that's a different story. But I believe being consistent for fantasy basketball owners, it's just not there for Butler. And he's missed now the last few weeks. Here on the year, 18.5 points a game, 5.8 rebounds, 4.9 assists, 1.3 steals, and 55% from the field. And another thing with Butler is, let's say they don't trade him, is this Miami Heat team. I think he could be pulling some of that he's not going to play and sit out a majority of the season. So right now it's a tricky situation. The NBA trade deadline is in about 6 weeks here, where Butler will see if he gets traded or Pat Riley sticks to his word. But either way, I just don't believe production is going to be there for Jimmy Butler in and game out. And also injuries have plagued him, especially in regular seasons for many seasons. So with all those factors, and it's just a tricky situation. If I could put Jimmy Butler on the trade block in my fantasy league and get something decency of him and not worry what's going to happen at the trade deadline, if he's going to play or not, obviously this will be the time for fantasy owners to do it. In the third and final forward, I look to sell and trades Norman Powell of the Los Angeles Clippers. So what a season it's been for Norman Powell, no doubt about it. A monster year, 24.6 points a game, 3.3 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 1.2 steals, 3.8 threes a game, and 49% from the field. In the last 2 weeks, one of the better scorers in the NBA, 29.4 points a game, 4.2 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 2 steals, 3.4 threes, and 47% from the field. It's a 3-point shooting and scoring. Obviously, Norman Powell, he's going to bring a lot to fantasy owners. But the one thing is, Kawhi Leonard, he could be back in the next couple weeks here, or even sooner, for this Los Angeles Clipper team. And I know Kawhi Leonard, he hasn't been healthy for the majority of the last 4 or 5 seasons for this Clipper team. But like I said, if he's back in the lineup, even here and there for this Clipper team, he's going to take some scoring and production away from Norman Powell. We see Paul George leaving in free agency was big for Powell's production, and he's going out there and he's putting up some huge numbers. So right now, with the huge numbers and a potential Kawhi return sooner than later, I would sell him high. I'm not saying I'm going to dump him off or anything, but some of these big ball games, he's got peak value right now. December 23rd in Memphis, 29 points, 3 boards, 2 steals, 2 assists, 4 threes, 50% from the field. December 27th versus the Warriors, 26 points, 3 boards, and assists, 2 steals, a block, 2 threes, 50% from the field. Then December 30th at the Pelicans, 35 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 4 threes, 48% from the field. So he's playing great basketball. One of the hottest scorers going on, no doubt about it, in fantasy basketball in the NBA is Norman Powell. But like I said, I don't believe he's going to keep it up at these elite numbers. And right now, I believe he's a sell-high candidate. I'm not saying dump him for anything, but while he's at peak value, maybe you get a center you need or a big-time powered forward in a deal, or even a point guard if you need assists. That's a few forwards I look to sell and trade for Week 10 of the fantasy basketball season.